What's going on, guys? I'm back with a brand new suggestion box review for you guys. I just watched a movie called Karen, starring Taryn Manning, Jasmine Burke, and Corey Hardrick. First of all, I almost forgot. I gotta give a huge shout out to the one, the only Cheryl Burton. Keep them coming. Keep the suggestions coming. Now back to the review. Whatever happened to Christina Ricci? All right, man. In 1993, Addams Family came out. She played Wednesday. From that day on, from that moment, I knew she was the queen of weird, goth, emo, whatever you want to call it. She was that. She was that dark woman, that dark girl for a very long time. Because in 1998, she came out with a movie called Buffalo 66. Not a lot of people know about this movie unless you're really into indie movies like that, where she plays this woman who gets kidnapped by a prisoner who just got out of prison. Okay? And they start to like each other and all this other crazy stuff that ensues or pursues, whatever, behind that. Right? Then in that same year, she comes out with The Opposite of Sex, where let's just say she turns a man's life around in the most interesting way. Another one, another strange one. All right. Then in 2001, she comes out with Prozac Nation, where she takes you on a journey of what it is to be on Prozac on a daily basis and all the other just insane events that happen around that. Okay. Then in 2006, she had Black Snake Moaning. This is the only movie I have not really watched all the way through. Okay. But when you have a white girl chained up by an old black man, you have to see what the premise of that is going to be. You have to check it out. One day I'll check that one out. All right. Then, but after that, she really didn't do anything that stood out or was talked about, or just maybe people didn't pay attention to her. So where is she now? Where is she now? That's all I'm asking. Where she's on a milk carton box. She's on a milk carton box. Let's get to that review. Karen, for those who don't know, for those who are not aware, this came out last year. And for anybody who watches BET anymore, I guess, even if you don't watch BET, you know about it. You know, if you don't know about it, you're out harassing someone for no reason, calling the cops on them for no reason. Because you know about it. Don't play me. Don't play me. Karen is pretty much about this young black couple named Imani and Malik, all right, who move into this rich neighborhood, people with good money, and they happen to be the only black couple in this neighborhood. Yes, all right. What they don't realize, they moved next to a lady named Karen who has some issues going on, and because of that, she just immediately starts harassing this couple for a myriad of reasons behind that. And then things start to quickly escalate because of that. And that is the premise of the movie. Positives. One of the best things I got out of this film was the unintentional humor to this. Okay, this movie is a thriller. It's not a comedy. So when it started off, it, just the vibe, just the way it came in, I was already laughing. Okay, this woman was overbearing. There were things happening in this movie that were just outrageous and a little exaggerant for me. Okay, they were way exaggerate for me. Some things that would not happen in that manner. They pushed it to the max with this one. Okay, she she's harassing dudes at a restaurant for laughing too loud in a busy restaurant where people are all talking. I think the waiter would have laughed at her. Or not the waiter, the manager. The managers would have laughed at her in this situation. Maybe not back off in like the 50s or 70s, whatever. Back off in the day when, that was strong. But not for that. Not for that. All right? So you're already getting this vibe with this movie. The feel for this. Another thing I liked about this, there was a sort of path this movie was going, or so it looked like this movie was going, where Karen had a certain interest in the male character Malik. Okay, I'm not going to say what it exactly was, but she found something interesting about him to the point where she wanted to invite him into her house. After some happenings in the movie, that really never went any further. That whole thing never went any further. I liked where it was going. I really liked where that was going. The notion of it. It never went any further. This really should be a negative. But because of how it led up to that, I was really entertained. I was like, oh man, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. This is really gonna happen. I like how they're teasing at this. Come on, bring it on. Make that interesting. All right. So I enjoyed everything about that, all the way up to the door just kind of closed on that opportunity. All right. That was a very crazy part. Last positive about this. When it comes to the background story of Karen in this movie, there are things that don't really make me sympathize for her, but then there are things that I understand that can make sense of why she is the way that she is. Still doesn't excuse what she says and does in the movie, okay? But at the same time, it makes a lot of sense that because this happened, she is the way that she is. She hates who she hates. She thinks the way that she thinks. Okay? And thank goodness her kids did not, rub this off on themselves. All right? Because she is all kinds of messed up in the head. Not saying anybody else in the movie is perfect. That's definitely not the truth. But she herself and other characters are just, they ain't right. They ain't right. Okay? As you'll see if you ever decide to watch this. All right. Now let's get to those good old negatives. It's going to be a long night. The first thing that had me shaking my head about this, and I'm not sure if this is just something common that goes on with BET movies, but the acting was horrifying. It was horrible. It was so cookie cutter. It's just, okay, you say this, I say that, you say this, I react like this, you react, oh, no. Their reactions to everything was just, the timing was off. It's not the way that somebody would react normally to other people doing this and that. The husband came in frustrated one day about something. He was pacing. You couldn't miss it when he came through the door. You could not miss how he came in. He was pacing, and his wife acted like she did not notice how he was acting when he came in. Anybody could have seen this. Anybody would have noticed this from the get-go. She somehow didn't. All right, we have to deal with something. And Karen, the one that played Karen, Taryn, man, I am very disappointed in her because she knows better. She's done way better jobs in other movies. But in this one, you act like this. This might not have been a role for you. This wasn't a role for you, man. I'm sorry. No. You should have picked somebody else if you're going to act like that. Plain and simple. That was unexcusable. That was unexcusable how she acted. It's just so over the top and cheesy. Another negative about this. Speaking of that black couple, they were not the brightest people on earth. Okay. They kept letting things go on that they should not have let go on. All right. When you're talking to someone or you come to someone's door to greet them because you're new in the neighborhood, so you want to greet your neighbor, make things right, make sure you get off on the right path. But at the same time, you want to, kind of tell them, hey, could you not do this? I would appreciate that because you're violating my privacy. Once you tell this person that, okay, and you told them, you let them know that this and everything, she gave them a pie. I wouldn't have done that, but she gave them the pie, so she overdid her thing. Then she tries to invite them. She tries to invite her, to an event. Do you really think this woman wants to come to your event like that? Why would you think that? Just make it sweet and simple and go. This woman had time to just let the door slam in your face. You embarrassed yourself, okay? Then there's a little scene where the husband, Malik, sees Karen's son playing basketball, goes out, talks to him, gets to know him, gets friendly with him, like that's he's his stepdad or something. Are you dumb? Are you stupid, man? Karen is in there watching the whole time. That's what she does. She's waiting for crap like this. Leave her son alone, man. I know you work with kids at his job or whatever he does for a living, so he's used to this. But this is not your job, bro. Leave her kid alone. This woman is crazy. How dumb can you be? Idiotic, just idiotic stuff throughout. And speaking of idiotic, there is a sex scene in this movie that makes absolutely no sense. And this is the one that made me side with Karen this time. Because when you're making love or whatever you do, that's your private business. But that's right, it's private. Okay? They were in the window. They were directly in the window, kissing and caressing and all that stuff, half naked. All right? No curtains. Nothing's covering it. It's like you purposely placed yourself in that window. And that window is very narrow too. Just put their bodies right there. The Karen, somebody else saw first, not gonna say who did. And then Karen came in and she saw it. She was intrigued. And, of course she had right to complain about that. Why would you do that? Why would you purposely do this? So stupid. So stupid. Very stupid. But one last thing that just I could not stand, that became a big negative about this movie. I understand that with the subject of this movie, it's going to push a lot of narratives, okay, you know, throughout the movie, because this is what this movie's about. But the way that it was done, there were conversations at a house party that, I'm sorry, but I'm black, if y'all didn't notice. Me and my family members would not be talking about this. We wouldn't be wasting our time about this. We would probably joke about it or whatever, or, oh yeah, that's horrible, you know, and that's crazy how this happens and this happens. But we would not be talking about it in the manner that they were talking about it. It was so forced. It was forced. All right? Like this is something they had, like they did from a textbook. Like they just took a book, like they were actually reading from the script and like, okay, you say this common thing everybody says about racism. Now you say something common thing about racism. All right, you're good. All right, you met all the quotas. It just felt so robotic every time, and they over forced and over pushed it. That's why I'm so sorry I have to do this. That's why I'm giving this a all right, S is getting an okay. I really tried to find a sweet spot within this movie, but that ended after they dropped the ball with that one direction it was going. Okay, after that, I don't know what occurred. I'm sorry, I'm just messing words up. Like this video, share it, and you better subscribe.